Good evening all. So we have come back with a new topic and about a topic that many people across the world might be asking about. What is Ramadan? The month of fasting for Muslims. And the great month that the Holy Quran was, let me say, was inspired for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what is Ramadan? And let us talk about Ramadan. So let's start. So Ramadan is a holy month, a month for Muslims. They gather and they fast from sunrise to sunset, and or maybe even before sunrise to sunset. The meaning of Ramadan is to empathize with the poor, to empathize with people who are hungry, to empathize with people who does not find clean water or who do not find clean water. And based on that, Muslims tend to fast Ramadan in empathizing with others. So this is the meaning of this kind of ritual. There are other meanings that actually being implemented in practice. So now when someone, you tell him about the meaning of Ramadan, and he come and see how Muslims act in reality in Ramadan, they tell you actually this month people actually, they maybe fast from sunset to sunrise, but they end up eating more than the usual, and they are ending spending up more on on food more than any other month. So if it's about saving and if it's about empathizing with the poor, so the meaning actually have disappeared. But actually there are other meanings that actually being implemented in reality. In this month, actually Muslims reconnect with their families and with their loved ones, and they gather on breakfast on their and breakfast together, which is basically just eating a meal during dinner time. And this meaning actually is about reconnecting with your family. It's about staying together. It's about it's about showing that the community, that you are one unit, that you do things together. And some of them is fasting and breaking fast together. So that's the first meaning. The other meaning that actually being implemented is actually people becoming reconnect with their spiritual rituals. So they tend to read more Quran, and they tend to pray more, and they tend to do dua, which is asking God for forgiveness and asking God for whatever they wish. So in this meaning, this actually includes that Muslims tend to repent after mistakes, and they are not arrogant. And from time to time, if they have been given a window opportunity to repent on their mistakes or to ask forgiveness, they will do. And that's another good meaning that is coming in Ramadan. So there are two good meanings that actually being implemented these days, which is basically reconnecting with your family and trying to show good deeds and trying to demonstrate that if you ever have any mistake, you are trying to ask God for forgiveness, which actually a good trait to have in any character. It's against arrogance. It's a situation where actually if someone has done any mistake, he's asking for forgiveness, if not from the other person, but actually from God. So that's actually make people behave in a better way. So there are still two traits that are very strong during the holy month. So people asking me, what is the difference between doing Ramadan in Jordan or doing Ramadan in UAE or doing Ramadan in a Western country? So actually in Arabic countries in general, Ramadan is very different than it is in Western countries. In Arabic countries, actually the whole schedule change, and people tend to work less, and people tend usually to be less productive. And you can see this in many projects across the regions, and actually even expats know it. They say in Ramadan almost everything stops and everything says after Eid, after Eid, after Eid, which is which is actually, we hope that we can increase our productivity, and I hope that this is not the reality, but it is really the reality. And it might be we find some level of compromise or something. I don't know what's the solution for this, and I don't have any actually thoughts on this. That's one thing about it is about productivity, but I think In Arabic countries, people tend to gather more with their families. They tend to do more rituals and pray more, and there is more some kind of ceremonial events happening around. So you can see some lights in the street. You can see these big Taraweeh prayers where a lot of people gather. In other countries, actually, you see this very much different. So the schedule will not change. Your daily schedule will not change. Only you will fast. Most probably will eat alone in your home or with your close friends. And sometimes you would go and break fast with the Muslim community. And in this month, the Muslims community tend to do a lot of iftars together. And in this iftar together, the people come and gather together, and it's very good for people who are living in Western countries or any other country to reconnect with their Muslim community. And you can see there is a very strong connection during the holy month of Ramadan. Other than that, I think this is my talk on Ramadan, and I wish you a great evening, and I wish you that you do a lot of, I wish you a very enjoyable Ramadan. For me, I find not drinking water in the morning and not having some coffee a little bit difficult to keep my levels of daily productivity. So I tend to sleep late and woke up later and tend to stay late at night. So my whole schedule changed so I can somehow adapt to the changes in the schedule. That's for me. That's me personally. I am just one guy, but if I had other work, I would do it. So Ibrahim Tawa asking me, I have a lot of knowledge. So now we will talk about that. Thank you, Ibrahim. We'll try to do some introduction talks to some topics, to some prophets. Stories or some religious stories in Ramadan. I don't know if I can do much of those, but I'll do my best. That was my talk about Ramadan. So have a great evening.